Have you ever seen a World Cup coach lose his job after just one match? Because that's exactly what happened in 2026. 90 minutes, one game. And a manager's World Cup dream was over before the tournament had even properly begun. At first glance, it looks unbelievable. How can a coach be fired after a single match? Was it panic? Was it pressure? Or was something much bigger already exploding behind the scenes? Because what happened next shocked the football world. Let's go back to the beginning. Tunisia arrived at the World Cup hoping to make a statement. Instead, they became the story nobody saw coming. Their opening match against Sweden was supposed to be a fresh start. What followed was a nightmare. From the opening whistle, Sweden looked faster, sharper, and completely in control. Every attack felt dangerous. Every mistake by Tunisia was punished. And by the final whistle, the scoreboard told a brutal story. Sweden 5, Tunisia 1, a humiliating defeat on the biggest stage in football. But the scoreline wasn't even the most painful part. One of Sweden's standout performers was Yasin Ayari, and here's what made the moment even more emotional. Ayari has Tunisian roots through his father, so a player connected to Tunisia helped tear Tunisia apart on opening night. For fans watching around the world, it felt almost unbelievable. After the match, head coach Sabri Lamouchi admitted the team had hurt itself. His words sounded serious, but nobody realized just how serious the situation really was. Because less than 24 hours later, he was gone, fired, World Cup over. And this wasn't simply a reaction to one terrible result. The cracks had been forming long before the tournament started. When you look at Tunisia's recent performances, the warning signs were everywhere. Results had been disappointing. Confidence was low, momentum was almost non-existent. The team struggled to score goals. Defensive mistakes kept appearing, and concerns inside the camp were growing louder every week. Then came the warm-up matches. A defeat against Austria. A crushing loss against Belgium. No answers. No improvement. No sign that things were moving in the right direction. Pressure was building fast. But according to reports, the real problems were not only happening on the pitch. They were happening inside the dressing room. During the Sweden match, cameras captured a moment that raised eyebrows. A substitution, a frustrated reaction, a player clearly unhappy as he left the field. It was one of those moments football fans instantly recognize when trust between players and coach starts disappearing. And once that happens, things can collapse very quickly. Then another story began circulating. Reports suggested Federation officials were already unhappy with certain decisions made during Tunisia's World Cup preparations. Questions were being asked, tensions were growing, and the relationship between the coach and the Federation appeared to be deteriorating. By the time Tunisia lost to Sweden, the damage may have already been done. The defeat didn't create the crisis, it simply exposed it. And that's what makes this story so incredible. Because in nearly a century of World Cup history, coaches have faced pressure. They've faced criticism. Some have even been dismissed during tournaments. But after only one match? Never. Until now. Sabri Lamouchi became the first manager to suffer that fate. Think about that for a second. Years of preparation, months of planning, a World Cup contract, and it all ended after one game, one night. 90 minutes. That's how ruthless international football can be. But Tunisia wasn't finished making headlines. Because after firing their coach, they needed someone capable of walking into chaos and restoring belief immediately. So they turned to a man with a reputation for doing exactly that. Hervé Renard, a manager known around the football world for taking on impossible challenges. A manager who has repeatedly built underdogs into giant killers. And most fans still remember his greatest World Cup shock. Saudi Arabia defeating Argentina in 2022, a result that stunned the entire planet. Now Renard faces another mountain, a wounded squad, a shattered dressing room, and almost no time to prepare. The mission is simple. Save Tunisia's World Cup. The reality? It might be one of the hardest jobs in international football right now. Because the upcoming matches are anything but easy. Every game now feels like a final. Every mistake could mean elimination, and every player knows the world is watching. So here's the big question. Did Tunisia make a courageous decision that could save their tournament? Or did they panic and create an even bigger disaster? Was the coach unfairly sacrificed? Or was his fate sealed long before that opening whistle? Let me know what you think. Because if the first week of this World Cup has taught us anything, it's that this tournament shows absolutely no mercy. And something tells me this story is far from over.